This portion of This Week in Agribusiness is sponsored by Case IH. Be ready with Steiger Quad Track and Magnum Road Track tractors from Case IH.
Ray Brownfield is back with us this weekend. Land Pro LLC is his firm. The land business is his business. Let's talk about those non-farm investors who have really played a role in bidding up these values in some instances. Are they now out of the market?
They're not out of the market, but they're there watching the market. And I think if we should see any weakening more so this fall and winter, they'll be back. That they're really not going to be aggressively competing with the current farmer market, which is most of the buyers who we see as farmers. But they're there. And the reason they're there is that they see farmland as a good long-term investment to actually average their total portfolio, which in some cases is millions and billions of dollars. So it's really a small piece of what they bring to the market. But it's something they're going to be there when the time is right.
I have to ask you, though, about those funds. I mean, their horizon is tomorrow, 2 days, well, certainly the next quarter. Are they in there for the long haul? I mean, are these folks going to be out of the market also?
The ones that we talk to know it's a 10-year horizon for investment farmland. You're just not going to flip it. It doesn't work that way. And so they're pretty well educated at, and they're much better at this than they were 10 years ago, the ones I work with. So I think they understand the fact, but they have to see probably a 3.5, 3.7% return on investment. And if you can't get that, then they're not going to be so interested. The land that they currently own, I think they're going to hang on to it. I don't see them as sellers.
Interest rates certainly are playing a role, right? The lower interest rates?
Yeah, definitely so.
Let's turn to the lease cash rent community. I'm hearing stories that some of those renters are walking away because of what they had agreed to pay.
There were some cases like that later this fall and early winter, and I think once it became known that the commodity markets really weren't going to perform as we all hoped they would, there wasn't even a chance to forward contract or even put some puts and calls in that we normally could do. Once they decided, and I agree with them, saw that 4.25 or maybe upwards of the $400 bracket was not going to work, those fellows had to take a look and say, do we want to go out of business or do we want to pull back? And some of them, not a lot, had to pull back and say, look, let's take another look at this. So I clearly understand where they came from because it would have been a tough situation. I still think at some of the higher rents we have right now, it's going to be a push in 2015 for them to make money at the current commodity prices. And the inputs haven't gone down. That's part of the problem.
I know you work with landlords. How are they accepting the idea of lower rents?
Well, some of them clearly understood, some of them did not, and it tells me we as professional farm managers have to do a better job of communicating with our landowners to let them know what's causing what is going to happen. So in 2015, we're going to do a lot better job of letting those folks know that, hey, this is what it could be. We don't know that for a fact, but no surprises, because I don't blame them. You don't want to give up money, but sometimes you have to in this kind of market.
As always, we appreciate your expertise. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Ray Brownfield of Land Pro LLC joining us on This Week in Agribusiness.